Do you feel like you need a body double for everything too? Or, as I used to call it, an adult babysitter? So, body doubling, for those who don't know, is just another adult doing the same thing or maybe something different, but either sat next to you or on Zoom, whatever kind of video talking you want, on silent, everyone's muted. But it's just so much easier to do stuff like fold your laundry, do your dishes, clean your house in general, even vacuuming. And also cognitive work like your homework. This is how I got through college, how I studied for my CPA, how I got a master's in data analytics. I had someone studying with me or on camera. And it just feels like, I guess, more grounding. It makes me more stuck in the activity, like without the option to get up and, go do something else for a little bit. Or go get a snack every 20 minutes because I'm bored. So it just helps me stay put and get in the flow. Get over those, probably the first 15-minute hump where I'm like, it's just really hard to get into stuff like that. Especially journaling. Things I just don't like to do, but I know are good for me. Going to the gym. Oh, is it nice to have a gym mate? So this last night, I asked probably 8 people from my Primal Trust group, which is a nervous system retraining group, if they wanted to body double today. And several people wrote back, but I sat on Zoom for 20 minutes by myself and wrote maybe 2 sentences in that time. So, you know who's always with you, who can always body double with you? Either yourself, if you're a real adult. I guess I could just feel like settled in myself, but I'm not there yet, so that's okay. So I thought, let's do it with you. Maybe you need to body double too today. What I wanted to work on is the work of Byron Katie, and she is really good at inquiry work. So exploring our limiting beliefs that are holding us down. It could be, for most women, most likely, I don't like my body, and other body shaming thoughts right on down the line. Or, I don't know what I'm doing in life. I need to know. I need more direction. For parents, it might be I'm a shit parent. It might be an argument you had with someone. Why are they like that? Why is my brother such a narcissist? What drives his need for ultimate control over people and wanting to take autonomy away from people? I don't know. And does that relate to religion? I won't go down that path, but the belief I want to work on today is around being home alone and distracting. This has been a long-rooted habit of mine. Whenever my husband goes to play softball, I will search our house for any kind of carb and sugar, which is kind of hard to find in our house exactly for this reason. So what I found last night when I was alone was corn tortillas and honey. Why? Why? I want to be such a bigger food snob than corn tortillas and honey. Is that worth it? No. Was it satisfying? No. What I really would like is a high quality patisserie treat, like a chocolate croissant. So flaky. Yum, yum, yum. Or like a high quality baked good from my local coffee shop. I'm a shit baker, so I don't bake at home. Also because I don't want to eat an entire pancake by myself at home. So how can I be more of a food snob and be more discerning and not feel like home alone, lonely, eat? So we're going to do some work of Byron Katie on this. What I consider success when dealing with those feelings and thoughts happened once. And that was dropping into my body when I felt I am lonely. When I first had the thought, I am lonely, I dropped into my body to see what sensations were present. And that's called somatic awareness. What I felt was my heart was kind of tugging down. It felt a pull. And also, it felt like it was kind of crying at the bottom of my heart. Like a slight heart wrench, I guess people would call it. But that only lasted for 90 seconds, which is pretty amazing. And then after those 90 seconds, I felt like what a gift it is to have a house all to myself with no noises, no interruptions, and I can do whatever I want. What a time to do a meditation without those little house noise interruptions, or a time to paint, my current creative hobby. What I also want to get into is learning how to animate or making a little TV show, like how South Park episode 1 was made out of construction paper, very low tech. I want to make something without AI, and I absolutely would just want to create something instead of just consuming. Do you ever think about that? The ratio between what you create and what you consume? So usually when I'm home alone, I immediately turn on an audiobook to distract. My favorite audiobook is The Count of Monte Cristo. Oh, so good. Love it. I also love to paint the Book of Monte Cristo, The Count of Monte Cristo. It's an extremely long book, but it's wonderful. I think it's like 40 hours or something. The more you listen to it, the better it gets. Remembering who the characters are, storylines. Anyway. So last night, I just turned on my audiobook, and then at that point, I'm unconscious. I'm not aware of my own thoughts. I'm not aware of the sensations in my body anymore. I'm very disconnected from my body. Pretty much I've self-abandoned at that point. I'm not aware of my needs, so I've self-abandoned. That constant distraction, I figured out why I do that. It's to protect myself from hearing my very mean thoughts about my body. Those body shaming thoughts, present since I was 6 years old, and discovered that my best friend looks skinnier than I do in jeans. It's been present ever since. Or some other thoughts I have that I want to distract from, or that I have no life outside my house. But the work of Byron Katie will ask me if that's really true. So I've come off of a CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome crash, energy crash, where I was in bed for 4 months. My world shrunk so much. And even before that, the bed stage, like I was having limited energy before that. So what I'm not doing anymore is going to the gym. I had a great gym group. I love those people. Doing free weights, it was great. It was at 6:15 in the morning though, so it's a bit early. After that, I switched to Pilates when I didn't have as much energy. But since I have HEDS, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I was hurting my body more than helping it. And I think if I would have had the money for one-on-one training, I might have been able to get over that, like learning how to properly move my body to not get hurt. But I stopped that after I was getting injured. So then there went my 2 communities. It just kind of shrunk down. And much before that, before I got long COVID in September 2022, I was playing pickleball. Oh, I was obsessed with pickleball. Have you played pickleball? I guess it's more of a Midwest thing, definitely Florida, Arizona thing where you can play throughout the winter. I loved it. I was training to be a professional pickleball player. I wanted it. It was so easy to get obsessed with. What's funny about pickleball is a lot of old people play, and they have so much finesse. They can finesse your butt all over the court and kick your butt. They're amazing. I was more of a power player, like, slam. Slam it so hard it goes over the fence. Beautiful thing. I was very aggressive. So that took a lot of energy. After COVID, my eyes weren't able to handle that much fast visual information, so I would get a headache right away. Also, my ears were so sensitive. The sound of that ball hitting the paddle every time, I couldn't handle it. So there went that community, who I also really loved. Don't you love having a community? It feels so different than a one-to-one friendship. And I've gone through different stages of life where I really crave that close, connected friendship with one person, just one-on-one. I don't really like groups of 3. It just feels harder to me, or more. But a community where everyone just kind of finds each other and you care about each other, but really you only know them from this one activity. You might hear a bit about their family, but you're not going too deep. Love a community. Keep each other accountable. That's a huge part of a community. So now I'm looking for a community to do the work of Byron Katie. And I do have a Primal Trust brain retraining community, but everyone there is there because they have a dysregulated nervous system like I do. That was the main cause of my crash. It's the main cause of a lot of chronic illnesses. So if you do have a chronic illness or relationship stress that might be taxing your nervous system, I highly recommend Primal Trust. It's an online community. There's a lot of support there. But I asked probably 8 people from my group yesterday if they wanted to do an adult babysitter session or a body doubling session with me today. And so I sat on Zoom for 20 minutes by myself. So I thought, what's an adult babysitter that's always there? But internet. Let's go. The work of Byron Katie. It's all about limiting beliefs and inquiry. Question 1. Write down a stressful thought on the belief line. It might be a complaint or judgment. Complaints and judgments are so important to notice and do this work on because it's sucking the life force out of you. Anything negative or anything where your head doesn't agree with your heart is creating friction, sucking life force out of you. Stuff like guilt and shame, those are the lowest vibration emotions. Suck that life force right out, but you can get it back. So any stressful belief about someone, alive or dead, who you haven't forgiven 100%, or any stressful thought. So my belief is that when I'm home alone, I need to constantly distract. But what that leads to is mindless eating. It's been a long-seated pattern of mine over 20 years. I finally found out why I do it. I feel like I need to constantly distract so that I don't hear the extremely mean thoughts I'm telling myself about my body. or I don't hear my manager brain telling me everything I need to do, which I don't have time for everything on my to-do list, and in what order would be most time efficient. Horrible place to live in with that part. So my belief is I need to distract when I'm home alone so that I don't feel lonely. I don't hear the mean thoughts about my body. I don't hear that I'm being lazy. I don't hear my to-do list. And I feel like I'm not lonely anymore. So I don't want to hear those thoughts. So I turn on my audiobooks. But by doing that, I'm not conscious anymore. I haven't been able to successfully listen to an audiobook and remain conscious. And by that I mean, can I still be in touch with my body's sensations, like my heart rate, my breath? Can I still feel what my current needs are? Not when I'm distracted. So then it means I'm self-abandoned. I'm self-abandoning. And that breaks trust within myself because I'm not listening to my body at that point. So my normal trajectory is I feel lonely, go eat some corn tortillas with honey on them. Want to be more food snob. So that's belief number 1. The next question is it true? Yes or no? Do I absolutely need to distract when I feel lonely? No. I could remain present. It's a possibility. What activity can I do rather than just staring at a wall to remain present? I could be looking at the clouds, which I call cloud TV. I like to look at what kind of shapes they're turning into. And the sky moves and changes so fast. It's fascinating. I could be outside looking at trees as well. Right now, feeling the breeze on my skin is lovely and keeps me in the present moment. I could be painting. I'm present when I'm painting. I'm in my flow when I'm painting. Question 2. Can you absolutely know that it's true? I know it's not true. I don't need to do a second inquiry on that. How do you react when it happens, when you believe that thought? I eat shit food. I feel shame, embarrassment. I feel like I need to hide all of the evidence, including hiding my garbage, doing all of my dishes, airing out any food scents, hoping my husband doesn't notice and ask me about how much honey is missing, which is likely a projection. I don't think he's really going to notice, but it's an anxiety in my mind that's going on because of this action. And then after that, whenever I binge, I tell myself I need to lose weight. I need to do better tomorrow. And that inner fear of possibly not getting enough food just drives another binge. It's that cycle, isn't it? Binge restrict. It's awful. What other thoughts do I believe when I believe that thought? I think I'm not as confident with other people as I could be. I think thin people don't want to be my friend. I isolate. I assess my body every morning and night and say what looks bigger. Like, oh, my stomach looks a little bloated. Looks a little bigger today. My love handles look a little bigger today. All my life, my legs are too big. My inner thighs, ginormous. Cellulite, oh yeah, got it. And I feel like it's protruding more than other people's. So I'm also judging against myself against other people. What I would like to look at my body as is as a whole, not just parts. like the parts. You have acne spots. I don't look at my face as a whole usually, just the spots. I don't look at myself in the eyes to see my soul. So I could look at myself as a whole and see what my body's done for me, what I get to do with it. And I also want to disconnect from feeling like my body is me, because now I've learned through some spiritual teachings like Eckhart Tolle, I don't know, who you are is pure consciousness. You are the awareness. If we think of life as a video game, someone programmed us to come down and be here. That controller, that ultimate coder, they probably just want to experience all of what they've created and see what brings the most joy. So I think now that's the purpose of life. Find out what lights you up. What's your joy? All right, so that's how I react. Who would I be without the thought of, I absolutely need to distract when I'm home alone. I'm lonely when I'm home alone. Well, I would be more outgoing, more confident, more social. My mind would feel a lot lighter because that's a heavy thought. Or it leads to heavy thoughts, all the I'm not good enoughs. I would be free to think of other things. I would be calmer and more present. I would be a more prolific artist. Do you think of content in terms of how much you consume and how much you create? I want to be a prolific creator. My current interest is watercolor. My next just flickering light of an interest is animation. So then the next step is to turn the thought around. I don't need to constantly distract when I'm home alone. I don't need to binge when I'm home alone. I don't need to binge when I'm distracted. I don't know if I can help that one, because if I'm not aware, if I'm not in my adult main personality making this conscious decision, it's just a well-worn body path, muscle memory. What else to turn around the thought? Just because I'm alone doesn't mean I'm lonely. A turnaround could be, I enjoy being home alone. I enjoy being with myself. And that I could spend that time trying to connect with the universe more. Do you ever get those little whispers of what you should be focusing on? Or hear of people who get downloads of information from the collective consciousness? That's pretty cool. Some people get entire books. Primal Trust, for example, Dr. Cat, who created it, had that experience where it was just an entire download of the program in an instant, what the map of it should be. But I think people need to be very quiet and listen for that to happen. So I would like to be one of those people. I'd feel more successful if I was working on a creative pursuit, having something I'm working towards every day, especially if it's something I enjoy. That'd be wonderful. What work of Byron KD do you want to do? What thought do you want to explore? So I'll go through the summary questions again so you can do it on your own. First, the stressful thought or belief. Then, is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? Who would you be without the thought? And lastly, the turnaround thought. So this creates the awareness. Does it automatically mean I'm never going to do my automatic behavior again? No. But step one is the awareness. And then having these ideas in my head might mean that I actually take a different route. It's at least a little seed planted in my mind to take a different route. So, I think I'm just going to put a note to myself on the refrigerator, on the cupboard, for when I'm home alone. A list of activities I could do that I would like to do, but that I just forget about. I have a list of low energy and high energy tasks that I could do, and whether it's good weather or super hot. Low energy, I can hammock, watch the clouds, ground. I can sit by our flowers. I could go to the beach and sit. I could meditate. If it's very hot and I have low energy, I could plan a trip. I could take an art class, journal, meditate, look for new recipes, look for parks and trails that I'd like to visit and haven't gone on yet. I could do some Primal Trust homework. I could create something, a story, an animation, something like South Park, episode 1. Just construction paper. So simple, no AI. I don't want AI creations. If I have high energy and it's good weather, I could go for a bike ride. At the beach, I could go swimming or paddleboarding. I could go for a hike. I could grill something. What an idea. I haven't grilled anything this summer. If it's very hot, I could still bike. I found that even if it's 98 degrees, to be fair, I have an e-bike for my chronic fatigue syndrome, but that wind coming on my skin keeps me very cool, so that works. If it's high energy and very hot, I could practice my dances. I just took my first 2 dance classes ever, and it's hip hop dance. I had to take lots of breaks in class, but just having that experience of being around people who are dancing is wonderful. And if I'm at a break period and they're still continuing, I'll imagine in my mind doing the action. And I think that makes it stick a little bit, even if I'm not getting muscle memory reps at the moment. And it's just such an uplifting thing to go do something new with new people. It's something I've always wanted to do, but my body confidence has held me back. If I have high energy and it's very hot, I could cook, or I could build some muscles, do some push-ups, some weights, some squats. So let me know in the comments. Are you going to try any work of Byron Katie, some inquiry work? Would you like to make a list yourself of what you'd like to do if you have low energy or high energy? I realize most people are quite a lot busier than I am, maybe if you have children especially. But for those little moments where you're grabbing your phone to scroll and it's making you in a dopamine spiral and you think it's your relaxed time, but it's really not relaxing you, would you make a list of things that would actually relax you? Thanks for listening.